Why did you just press stop recording?
I didn't.
You did. Oh no, you didn't. Sorry, you just clicked into that. Sorry, my mistake. Excellent connection.
Well, we're not live yet, are we?
No, because the little green light hasn't come on yet.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Let me just see now. We're in focus.
You have to do something up here with this, isn't it?
What?
This little icon here, and then the
No,
light
that's
comes on.
it's on.
Oh, that's it, is it?
Well, it's not streaming through the camera anymore. We're streaming through this.
Ah, okay. So that's why.
So we have to stop looking at here and we have to start looking into there. Okay. Oh. See that when I... Oh, might turn down the... Whoa. Might turn down again. Bum, 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 bum.
Maybe just don't do that.
No, because I have to blow it out. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Wow, it's warm in here.
You're really annoying.
Okay, what's all this? Slow mode is on. Send a message every 6. Slow mode is on.
You clicked slow mode on.
I didn't, did I?
You did, yeah.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Slow
It
mode.
went live mode, and then underneath it had slow mode, and you clicked
Slow
it
mode
on.
is on. Send a message every 60 seconds. I don't know. It doesn't. Okay, just checking everything is up and running.
Turn off slow mode.
What's slow mode do?
It basically makes it so like really, really popular YouTubers would use it.
Yeah.
So say they were getting like 100 things in chat every minute, they would want to see them, so they'd have slow mode on. So
How do I...
Go. You
but
clicked
now
in.
it's just making it so you only get one message every minute.
How did you know that?
Click that.
But how do I... It's not... See, it's not... It doesn't give me the option.
You did something when you went in to set it up.
It's in here. The settings
When
are
you
in
did
here.
edit. Click on edit.
No, that's... on
Good.
live
Yeah.
chat.
There you go.
Oh,
Enable
yeah.
slow mode.
Okay.
Yeah, turn off slow mode.
Alright, okay. Slow mode
Thanks,
is
buddy.
off.
Just as well we have a young person in the
I
house.
clicked... Actually, I'm going to move this because the camera's up there now. Hopefully...
No, go on.
How did it sound? Was it too loud or anything like that?
Whose son
I
is
have to
he?
remember to...
Okay, so it's literally like 5 seconds delayed and it sounds...
when I'm talking now, how does that sound? If I talk like this, if I start laughing...
It sounds...
Give us a go.
That if you're not talking, you're not
Hello.
gonna hear anything.
Give us a shot. Of course, we stopped talking now, so I've
I'm
nothing to
assuming
listen
you're
to.
taking all this out of the podcast, yeah, because
of
this
course.
really is not what I had in mind.
Okay. What volume do you have your thing set to? Christian's our producer.
Right, son, go.
Oh, I need to stay here.
No, because you'll keep fidgeting and jittering and there'll be
Okay,
noise
I
in the
need to start
background and I
looking at the
won't be
camera.
impressed.
So, someone is off, chat away. Jay, how's it going? Thanks.
Bye, then.
See you, Kieran. So, okay, we have to look up there now because we're so used to looking at this monitor that we have to start getting into the habit of looking up there. Let me just see now, just make sure I didn't quieten it down too much, did I? No. Right, because you see, we'll laugh and it'll blow it out.
Well, then don't laugh.
Okay. Good evening. And welcome.
Evening.
Welcome to our podcast number 2. It's the I don't know what day it is. What is it? It's the 6th of November, 2020, and the time is 19:04.
The year that never was.
The year of COVID. So welcome to our podcast. It is live on, not live. It is available on
Spotify.
It is available on Spotify, yeah, as well. So, yeah, so we managed to figure that out and how to get it up onto Spotify. So it is available. So if you're looking for it, if you're going to follow us on Spotify, then
Please do so.
Absolutely. But what I'd say is then just search for the Rainmaker. It's actually called the Rainmaker 1 because the Rainmaker was gone already.
Imagine.
Typically, right?
It was gone as well when I tried to set it up on Instagram.
Was it? There must be someone else out there called the Rain. Well, it's a cool name.
Yeah, so how's everyone's week been? How's your week been, Jay? You were back in work this week. You were on a little break last week. How was your week?
It was fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fine. It was there was no real issues, no issues. So I have to say, yeah, it was fine. It's quiet, kind of quiet week. No, nothing.
Quick week, wasn't it?
I don't know if I'd say quick.
Oh, that was a very quick week, I have to say now. My bored, though, is what I would say I was, because I haven't been working during the day. So kind of filling my days full of housework and bits and college work, where I'd like to be out and about and active.
Did I ask you?
No, I'm telling you. I felt...
I was thinking.
You don't know the art of conversation, you see, because you're so used to only talking yourself. I felt tired this week, actually. Very tired all week. I'm shattered right now.
Is this what the podcast is going to be about, is it?
No. It's conversation.
Oh, is that the idea?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
It's not about you and your stupid camper van, believe it or not.
I didn't think it was about me and the stupid. It's like the thing about it is, I set it up for you. It is your. I have to remember to look up there. It is your podcast. So so clearly you can do. So what did you have any? You said we were supposed to come armed with topics. I have a topic.
I have a topic as well.
Oh.
2 topics.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I want to try and do, right, is I want to keep it. Now, it's not like it's kind of not a grown-up kind of thing, but it is sort of like we can. I don't want to get bogged down into super serious stuff either. I'd like to try and keep the podcast somewhat light, but obviously serious and.
Well, then you better
and
leave the party.
Well, no, but I think what tends to happen is I think we can go off on tangents and probably go down. So again, like using Joe Rogan's podcast as an example. There's a bit of fun, but it moves to seriousness. So it's there's dark and light in it. And I think that's good. And I think I like that thing, whereas I don't want to go down the road of getting too bogged down into, too much kind of controversy.
Right, but what's your subject?
Why do you like Kanye West so much?
Controversial.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very controversial to say you like Kanye out loud.
So I've outed you, have I?
You've outed me, yeah.
Okay, so what do you
I'm
like?
a gold digger.
Why do you like?
Why do I like Kanye? Let's have a think about that one. I like, and I've always liked him before he done the whole Taylor Swift.
I was going to say before he was famous. I was thinking, how do you know?
Yeah, I knew him before he was famous. No, I've always liked him from day one, but he always strikes me as somebody that just needs to be minded. I don't want to try fix him. Do you know what I mean? But he always strikes me as somebody that just that's misunderstood and just struggles with trying to articulate what it is he wants to say.
And that's why you like him?
No, I do like him.
You want to mother him?
There's something about him that I like. I don't know. I mean, there's people like crazy people all the time, so,
He wouldn't mind being called crazy, no?
Well, I think you find he called himself it on the show that we were watching.
Yeah. So the where my question has come from is we watched the David Letterman interview and I thought it was just dull.
That was dull.
It was and so I don't think I've watched David Letterman interviewing a few people and I don't think they're great interviews. So when he used to do the Letterman show, he was great, but I just find that this format, I don't think I enjoy it. David Letterman is a genius and I really like him and stuff like that, but I just don't think that this is He's
also an old man now, so maybe the spark has gone out of him.
I think you find that's very ageist.
No.
Yes, that's a very ageist comment.
Yeah, but it can happen.
But not to him though.
How do you know it can't happen to him?
Because he seems
Is he Superman?
No, because he seems he seems full of vitality and everything like that, and he's a so he wouldn't be doing the show if I think if the energy gone out. But I just think that I don't think the show. I don't know. I'm not sure about that format, and I think also I thought when they were interviewing Kanye as well, I just think it's sort of it lacks
he was going around
realism.
with kid gloves, like.
No, I just think I think your man Letterman and the audience and all pander to these. So the couple I've watched seem to be kind of like pandering to these huge celebrities on some level, and I just didn't think.
Did you watch the one he did with Kim?
I think I might have watched bits of it or something like that as well, but I just find them hard to watch. I find them dull. You know, so that would be that.
His music is fantastic.
Kanye. Yeah, he's some good tunes, alright. Yeah. Anyway, so go on. So you like him because of what?
I don't know why I like him. He clearly just has something in him that I like.
But what though? I mean, it's not gonna be much of a podcast if you don't.
Well, is that your only subject?
No, but you know what I mean. Like, I mean, what like elucidate on as to why you like him so much.
I genuinely don't know. I like his music. I've always liked him. I do like the fact that he speaks out. I pity the fact that he's not pity, but I feel sorry for him that he's suffering with mental health issues. And he said he only got diagnosed 2 years ago, but I mean, he clearly has been suffering with him for a very long time. But I just like him. Something obviously with him resonates with me.
What though?
I don't know. And no matter how many times you ask me, I'm not going to be able to tell you. I don't know. I just like him.
He has a certain charisma about him. All right, I give you that. And he has that sort of artistic kind of genius, you know, of him. Like, you know, he's sort of the music he produces and just obviously the way he goes on and stuff. But he has that. See, he's just some people just
he's gifted.
Some people are born with bags of charisma, and he just has that. He's so charismatic. And I think the thing about it is, yeah, I understand that. I see where, because he doesn't care, he's controversial, he's very outspoken and stuff like that, and I think he kind of knows his own mind. But I think
now there are things he says that I even go you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know enough about the guy, and but I just find it's just sort of like that you like him so much, you seem to have a bit of a thing for him, and I'm like on like,
you're probably reaching there by saying I have a bit of a thing for him now, to be honest.
No,
I like him.
No, I don't mean a kind of sexual kind of thing. I just mean in a kind of, you definitely do like him. Yeah, so you have a bit of a thing for him. You know?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
I'm not going to leave you for him, don't worry. I won't be making food for him instead of you.
Are
Yeah.
you sure? Well, I tell you, it'd be a step down for you. You know?
I know, I'd hate to live in a house in Hidden Hills.
So what else was it? What were your topics then? What were you going to talk about?
My topics were all very loosey-goosey now in comparison to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, go on then.
Mine was, what's your confirmation name? Let's talk confirmation names.
It's John Paul.
Yeah. And where did that come from? Was Ringo and George gone?
Oh no, it's John.
It's John.
Yeah.
Tell the story.
Yeah, it's John. Yeah. Okay. So my name is Jason Paul, and so when we had to pick our confirmation names,
What year would you have been making your confirmation?
The early 80s.
So putting that into perspective,
John Paul had been here. Pope
John Paul had been here in 1979. So there was obviously still a big fuss.
No, you see, do you know what it was?
Well, you had to pick a saint, didn't you?
No, I'll tell you what it was, right? So if I'm honest, okay, what it was basically was that my parents had separated at that stage, right? They'd split up, and my mother.
We were keeping this life.
Well, but the thing I have to kind of put, I know, because when I tell people about my, you know, when you go on about it and you laugh, I have to kind of give you the story behind it. So what it was is that my parents had separated, and that my mother was going through a really, really hard patch. So she was really struggling. So we were probably not. She probably had more things on her plate than to be worrying about my confirmation name. So what happened was, she wasn't really, you know, I think, like, say when Christian makes his confirmation, we'll be attending the classes and we'll be helping him out and all this kind of stuff. So we'll be more hands-on and involved. My mother wasn't with me.
But they weren't supposed to back then. They went to one meeting, that was it. Because in the 80s, we did it all ourselves in school. And it was just one meeting and then the confirmation.
Well, see, I seem to remember at the time, I remember at the time, people were attending things because
really?
I know they were making announcements in the class. And it's funny, the reason I remember it is because I know I wasn't attending them.
Oh,
You see?
okay,
And
yeah.
so what happened was I wasn't attending them, and
And they allowed you to make it?
well, we were getting taught stuff in the class, but like bring you to the church and be familiar with where you're. And so the day we arrived to the church, I didn't know where to sit. Everyone had been kind of pre-assigned their seats, so I didn't know where I was supposed to sit. So I went in. My mother was there, my younger brother Lawrence was there, and my my uncle Seamus was there, and my auntie Mary, and they're all dead now. But so what happened? So basically, what happened was that when I was called up then by the teacher, and he said to me, "What's your confirmation name?" And I wasn't prepared. I had no idea what name. So the first name that popped into my head was the name that my brother had chosen. So David had picked John Paul because he's about 3 years older than me, 3 or 4 years older than me. You see, so he picked John Paul, probably with every other kid in the country that year, right? So what happened was I said John Paul, and so then the teacher said to me, "What's your full name?" So then it was Jason Paul, and Jason Paul, John Paul. So then he said to me,
JP.
he said, "Do you really want to be Jason Paul, John Paul?" And I was like, of course, as a kid, right? So I was an idiot. I didn't know any better. And I said, yeah, I will. And he goes, "Are you sure?" So to be honest, I don't know to this day. I think he put down John. So I seem to remember him saying to me at the time, "I'll just put down John." Right?
I'm saving you from yourself.
Yeah, because I was only like a kid and I didn't know. So that's why then. So I think my full Christian name is Jason Paul John. You know, so obviously when I say Paul John, people go Ringo George and stuff like that as well. But that's a bit of a sad story, because I do remember when we arrived out to the church, there was a bit of palaver that morning. So what happened?
See, you've never told me the entire story. You've just told me the thing about the name. I certainly wouldn't have asked you that.
So what happened was the morning, again, we weren't prepared. Now the date was coming, right? So my mother knew that, and I was confirmed in the church in Kilcool and Wicklow. But the Kilcool, it's in Kilcool in the Diocese of Greystones, right? So what happened was that morning, I kept telling my mother that it was in Kilcool, and she was saying to me, "No, it says Greystones. It says Greystones here." So we made our way out to Greystones, and we were standing outside the church, and then the priest. There was no sign of anyone, and the time was clicking on, and then the priest came out and he said, "What can I help you? What are you doing here?" And then he said, "No, the confirmations are in Kilcool today." So we all had to bail into the priest's car, and he dropped us out to the church in Kilcool, and then I went in, and again I didn't know where to sit, so it was a little bit So, bit of a. Obviously, I wasn't trying to have our second podcast to be one of those kind of sob stories, but yeah, you brought it up. Next topic. Next question.
Do you not know mine is?
Huh?
Mine is Lorenzo.
Named after your dad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's the same as I'd say you were dragged to all the classes and everything, were you?
Well,
your
my mum and dad were involved in the church, yeah, and then it was Father Dennis confirmed me.
Hello to Papa. How's it going, TJ?
And yeah, so we went to everything, and so I had decided on my confirmation name, and it's a saint, so it's fine, but it's a male saint,
right.
And I'm a female, so with it being the Catholic Church, there's a little bit of it like, so I went up, and my godmother was with me, and you know, you kneel down, and I think, does he do something on your forehead or something?
Yeah, the oil. Yeah, the
bishop
anoint
does
you
something on your
with the holy
forehead.
oil. Yeah.
So he says to me, because Miss Delaney held me hair back, and then that's where it was, and I was kneeling down, and he said to me, "And what name have you chosen?" And I said, "Lorenzo." And he went, "Lorenzo." I said, yeah. I was looking at Miss Delaney.
He's probably wondering whether you're a boy or a girl.
Well, no, I clearly was a girl. I had long hair.
I've seen photographs of you at that age. I'd say
I had long hair.
Yeah, but boys can have long hair.
Yeah, same as yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was it. That was a funny story. No drama there at all.
No. But yeah, well, look, I'm not surprised you chose a name like Lorenzo. But anyway.
Why? Dare to be different.
Yeah. I'd say, well, obviously I didn't know you back then, but I'd say you're someone who probably did. But yeah, it's a nice name. But I don't know. I mean, I'm a-religious now and stuff like that, so I don't think you kind of wonder about all that stuff. But I don't know. So there you go.
It's just all part of being grown up in Ireland, really, isn't it?
Being religious.
Well, making your confirmation and making your communion and stuff like that. I know people have chosen not to do it, and I think this year was a good year for people who didn't actually want to get it done, but you know, I think it's like Christian goes to a Catholic school, so it's just all part of it, isn't it?
Good evening, David, aka Daver. It has been a while, and I think the thing is about these. So just to explain to the few people that are on so far. So what Vanessa wanted to do is she wanted to do something a little bit different. She wanted to do a podcast, and so what we'll be doing here is we're just kind of getting into the swing of it because it's a little bit different from what we normally do. But what Vanessa wants to do is do a podcast, and then so what I'm doing is I'm recording it here, putting it up live, and then what I'll do is I'll take the I'm recording it as well. So what I'll do then is I'm going to upload the audio onto, did you hear that, Fridge? I'm going to upload the audio onto Spotify. So we have an account on Spotify with it's called The Rainmaker. So if you want to listen to the playback on Spotify. So yeah, so I think I don't know. I think what else do you want to talk about? Obviously, I'd say I'm not used to. I probably come on with a kind of topic in mind of what I'd normally want to talk about and stuff like that, and then we just rant for half an hour. But I'm probably getting used to this a little bit. Like I'm not sure, because I think talking about that confirmation thing. I mean, is it that kind of thing? Are we going to be all very open about stuff, or what did you have in mind?
Well, I just wanted to know your name. I didn't want to know all the carry on that went on with it.
Yeah. Well,
hi, Aaron.
You see, I think the thing is, good evening, Aaron. I think the thing here is that I'm probably one of these people on these kind of podcast kind of things that it's going to take me a few of them to become accustomed to it, and then I'll be able to relax, and then what I'll be able to do then is basically I'll be able to chat. It's interesting because when you see, what I think is interesting is when I look at these kind of things, and it's good to have Aaron on. Aaron's timing is always impeccable. What I'd say is that, well, actually, you know, because Aaron worked in radio and all that kind of stuff, right? So Aaron is an old pro with this kind of stuff. But I always remember when I first did when I started doing videos at first, I felt really, really uncomfortable. And it's interesting because I had to do a video a long time ago with work. And I remember, I think I had just started to do videos. And someone asked me, so what they were doing was they were asking these kind of questions. They were work-related kind of questions. And they stuck a camera in my face. And they were saying to me, so we were rehearsing it, and they said to me, you seem really relaxed. You don't seem to be fazed by the camera at all. And I was going to go, no. Now what I didn't say to them, because I have my own small video channel thing, blah, 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 going on, YouTube channel. So I didn't say that I'm somewhat accustomed to doing it. But what happened was that they'd agreed the question, right? So I was like, grand, no problem. We did the rehearsals. I answered the question, because obviously they want to make sure the answer, because it's a work question, right? They make sure that you don't answer the question like some kind of headbanger. And which I could be, right? So I said, grand. So they said, okay, fair enough, give us a minute and we'll set everything up and we'll go live. So I was waiting for them anyway, and then so your man turns around and says to me, okay, and then he asked me a totally different question. And I was like, and then the thing about it was I started trying to answer the question he'd asked me, right? But then I had the wherewithal to go, wait a minute, and I said, stop. I said, could you just stop it there for a second? I said, you asked me a totally different question. I said, so I was completely focused on the question you had asked me, and I was going to give you this answer. And he goes, oh, did I? And I was going, yeah, you're after asking me. So he said, what question did I ask you? And I was going, who is this guy? So, but the thing I'd say is that it is interesting that you do become accustomed to talking into the camera and all that kind of stuff. And you do become quite relaxed at doing it. I think it is kind of an interesting thing, and that's why I think, say, with Joe Rogan, that's what the great thing about him having guests on is he doesn't talk to the camera at all. He basically talks to the guests, and it's an interview. It's kind of fly on the wall kind of thing, and it's very good.
I always thought that was just a radio channel.
Joe Rogan.
Is he the baldy guy?
Yeah, Joe Rogan Podcast.
Yeah, I always thought it was a radio show and we were just watching it.
No.
Right.
Well, look, I don't know why you would think it was a radio show, but you could, I suppose.
Well, they all have mics hanging out there.
Yeah, well, how do you think they record the podcast?
No, and I appreciate that, but how do you think they record a radio show?
That's what I mean, like. I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. Anyway, so but it is one of these weird things that you do become accustomed to, you know, talking into the camera and performing somewhat. But I think the thing is, because we've slightly changed the format here, I think I've gone back to being slightly wooden. if you know what I mean. That I'm
Bit
not
stiff, yeah,
well,
bit stiff.
I'm not flowing, if you know what I mean. I'm kind of just kind of thinking it through, and for some reason I keep
You
saying
need
I
to
know what
drink
to do.
up.
What's Mark's? Hey guys, missed this Friday night post during lockdown. I originally joined to hear about VW content, but hearing about the relevant real life stuff just adds to the appeal. God, that's very nice. Thank you very Mark. Thank you very much, Mark Brown. 46. Thank you very much. It is. See, that's the thing I'd say as well. I'm on a roll now, so I think the
I'll be able to shut you up now.
it is interesting because that's one of the things with the channel, with having the channel, and when you're trying to grow a channel, you try and be consistent. And I think these kind of talks, what will happen is that you'll probably find people tune in and go, "What's this about? I didn't tune in for this," you know, that kind of way. And it doesn't
Go with the channel.
It doesn't suit everyone.
Yeah.
It just doesn't suit everyone.
That's fine.
You know, but they're your podcast and it's your channel, so we'll do what you want. Okay, so I'm going to show up now.
Are we allowed to talk about what's been going on this week
With what?
in the US of A?
Of course you can, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not going to.
presumably you can,
I'm not
yeah.
going to say
As long as you don't
slanderous.
as long as you don't do any kind of fake news or anything like that.
No. Like Donald Trump is the president again.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
No, I'm just talking about what's people's point of view. It's interesting. It's kind of got droning on a little bit now.
What's your point of view?
My point of view is that have you ever heard the saying, when you're dead, lie down? That he should just concede and say, okay, I didn't win, and I am a liar, and they're not fraudsters.
Well, it's not over yet, though. He still has a route to the presidency, so it's not over till it's over. Because if you think back to when Al Gore and up against, what's his name?
I don't remember.
And so he conceded, but then they realised, then he basically withdrew his concession and he said no, and then they ended up fighting it in the courts and stuff
Al
like
Gore
that.
did?
Yeah. Yeah, did I remember that? Against Bush.
No, I was only
Yeah.
20.
So that's what happened. So so you don't want to concede too soon, but typically what they'll know, and obviously it's a gentlemanly kind of agreement that what they should do is he should resign. He should.
He
Yeah.
won't.
No. Well,
He
no.
won't,
Sure, but I'm not
because he's a
surprised.
narcissist.
I'm not surprised by him.
He's just a despicable human being, isn't he?
Well, that's a relative term.
Well,
won't
I
go
personally
quietly,
just
no.
don't like.
It's like COVID. It seems to be going on. And yeah.
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 No, he won't go quietly, and it's just it's very like a sore loser, as you said, ungentlemanly. Like it's not, and it's not. I suppose what they built their country on being like that, because all the presidents previous to that, although they might not have wanted to leave, they just went and conceded. You know.
Yeah, but
Is he the only person
his
that-
whole presidency has been that. You know.
Threats and bullies.
Well, look, see, I don't know. We don't know him. You see, I'm not defending him, but we don't know. This could be just a persona, right? So a mask that he's wearing, that he's putting out there, and it could be. I don't know. See, we don't know. I mean, look, Melania does not seem happy with him, so I'm going to assume. And then anyone who seems to, there was that movie we watched about your man Comey, the FBI guy, and he was
very
going on
good,
about.
wasn't it?
Yeah. So look. He doesn't seem like a pleasant individual, but like it's so tight over there. It's you know, like half that country is incredibly divided. But if you look at look at the elections here, again they're all over the place. When I was growing up, it was Fianna Fáil, and then sometimes Fine Gael.
Labour were huge as well here when I was growing up.
And so the whole dynamics, and even in the UK, you can see the way. I mean, how many? I remember there was a time you'd get to know the Prime Minister of the UK. They'd be there for years, decades. You know what I mean? You knew them, say, as a minister.
Yeah,
then they'd be the Prime Minister for a long time. I mean, how many have they been through in the last little
Tony
while?
Blair, he was the big one when I was growing up.
And the other thing there recently, I mean, I was watching today, you would know who the Labour leader is. And I was like, I don't know who the Labour leader is. And I don't know who half our politicians are, because the current situation is that politicians have lost a lot of credibility. People don't really buy into them anymore. But also, I think, see, the social media is really playing havoc with the whole system, because people are more informed, but the problem is you start to become siloed. So the news that you receive from social media...
And you don't know if that's the truth either.
Well, that's what I was going to say to you. The news you receive from social media is basically tailored to deliver the message you want to hear. So if you're kind of right wing and negative minded, slowly but surely, all the feed that comes your way just reinforces that. And if you're the other way inclined, that's what you. So people just are starting to diverge. So you can see it. You can see it politically all over the world. You know, you can see just the way the politicians and the whole political system is starting to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's a real existential kind of threat to a lot of. I don't know. I think it's going to be if Biden wins. Like there's going to be trouble, and he seems to be inciting trouble over there. So it's going to be.
Who seems to be inciting trouble?
Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be, you know, because obviously, but remember, people protested when Trump won.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't violent, but people were saying he wasn't their president, and they came out protesting. But I have a feeling it could go the other way.
Absolutely.
You know,
well, it's already started.
And the fact that you see the White House has a big fence built around it, and people are boarding up buildings and all that kind of stuff.
But New York, I showed you the Instagram thing the other night of the Irish girl that's living in New York, and she went around and she showed all like the Ritz, was it? Not the Ritz, it was the Ritz, wasn't it?
I don't
No,
know.
that's in London. Some big hotel on the plaza, and they were all completely boarded up.
Yeah.
The whole first few floors.
And that's just says the state of play of things over there at the moment. But again, to be fair to the Americans, right? Because I know you've a tendency to disparage them all, right? But there's 400 million of them nearly. You know, what we're seeing a very, very, very small sliver of their population. And not only that, then the news and the media outlet and all that kind of stuff are amping the whole thing up because it sells.
Yeah, no, and I get that, and I do get that I kind of have an opinion of them based on the fact that they did,
which is wrong.
Vote him, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's fair to judge the.
No, and I think I say it, but I don't actually mean it. You know that way.
Wow.
It's probably like them all thinking that we're leprechauns and we're not really.
Yeah, I know, but you know, it's one of those things. I don't think you know, you say that about, say, the Americans, and I don't really acknowledge you saying it, because I think quietly I'm kind of going, you can't judge 400 million people.
You actually do say you never go quietly,
well,
Jay.
I know. Well, you say it a lot, and I do have a tendency to ignore it. But I think the thing. Well, you say it quite a lot, though.
Do I?
You do, yeah. You say it a lot, yeah. So and more often than not, I tend to ignore it because I'm sick of saying it to you to stop judging them all. But they've the largest economy in the world. They're basically the world's inverted peace. Because of their whole.
No, well, I tell you how.
Well, how?
Because of all the immigrants going into that country and building it for them. That's how.
Yeah, but they've always been like that. You see.
But they're a country built on immigrants.
Yeah, of course they are. Well, it's like that thing I saw, and they were saying someone had saying immigrants go home, and then they had a picture of a Native American saying, "Okay, well, good luck, see ya."
Country's empty.
Well, yeah, but you see, the whole if you have to understand the way the country was set up, was that it was set up by white Protestants, right? So they set it up so they have that Protestant work ethic, and from the beginning they've been kind of saying that making money is good. There's nothing wrong with it, and that's part of their religious outlook on life as well. Whereas, you know, I'd say if you're a Catholic, it's probably, you know, it's not as, you know, they're saying it's not all about money, whereas, and like the Protestants are saying there's nothing wrong with making money and there's nothing wrong with having a strong work ethic and all that. So what happens is that it draws in people, you know, because they're saying about, like, it's the same thing, say, in the UK, right? They go on about, say, immigrants coming over, but sure, the bulk of them coming over are people who are either escaping tyranny or people who are highly educated, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a good job. No one emigrates apart from refugees, right? No one's going to fly and travel all the way to the States with their degree or whatever like that because they want to go over and sign on. But what they try and do is so what you have is you have people who go over there who can make it. But again, you know, it's more of a fairy tale more than anything, you know. So
fairy tale in New York. Anyway, what's your plans for the weekend?
Well, what's your plans for the weekend?
Well, my plans are I'm in college for 2 full days.
Yeah. 9
to 5 both days.
Yeah, well, I'd say me and the little man will probably we'll be at a loose end now this weekend, so we can't. I'd say so. Okay, so you're tied up doing your course, so it's 9 to 5 for the 2 days. So tomorrow I have to go down and get my replacement glasses again.
Spectacles.
So I have to get down. Again. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll go down to the square tomorrow. So if anyone's in the square tomorrow around 12 o'clock, we'll see you down there.
Pop over and say hi.
Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do, and then
from a distance.
Oh yeah. Actually, do you know what? I met a supplier the other day, and I put my hand out. It's the first. And he was going, I
Really?
can't. And I went, oh yeah. So we were bumping elbows.
I
kind of
shouldn't do
thing,
that
you know.
either.
I-
You
well,
sneeze into your elbow.
not the outside, you don't.
But
Okay. So what we're going to do is that's what we're going to do. We're going to go down. So there's a bit of a story behind my glasses. I don't know if anyone who wears glasses, right?
anyone cares to listen?
Well, so I got the thing from Specsavers, is it? Is that who I am? No. What is it?
Vision
Vision
Express.
Express, right?
Extra vision.
So I got the notification. I was an electrician in the square from almost a year. Very good. Aaron,
Was that when it was being built, Aaron?
presume it was. But I do you know why they called it the square?
Because people in Tala couldn't spell pyramid.
Do you know how old that joke is?
As old as the
I was
square.
told that joke in about 1990. Yeah,
We
when
were
they built it,
told,
yeah.
we were in school the day the square opened, right? And there was a few people missing. But we were told the Pope was down there opening it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that, Barry. Sorry, go on. Barry's just saying that there's basically a documentary on the BBC iPlayer. It's worth to watch. Yeah, it'd be
Oh, I
fascinating.
heard about that actually. They've been promoting that all week.
Yeah, I'll have to have a
The
look
Trump
at that.
show documentary on the BBC iPlayer.
It's-
Yeah,
it's gonna be
if
fascinating.
anyone wants to.
But anyway, I'll tell the story about my glasses. So it's turned into a right palaver. So what happened was when I started to notice I need glasses years ago, right? So how long am I wearing glasses now? 5 years, probably 4 or 5 years. Is it something like that?
In December probably will be. Yes, we went
Yeah.
in to do a bit of Christmas shopping and
Did
you
we have
ended
the
up
van?
sidetracking us.
Did we have the van?
No.
We didn't have the van, right? So it's definitely more 5 years ago. So what happened was I started to know I was doing this a lot, right? So you can't see on the podcast, right? But what I'm doing is I'm doing this thing of the way
selfie stick with
you
your
hold
arm.
up a book and you kind of move it away and back and forth. You're kind of going, what the hell's wrong with this book, right? You kind of go. So someone
Sure, spring on it.
someone said to me one day, they said, you need glasses. If you're doing that, you need glasses. And I was going, what, really? So we were walking through Dublin. I saw this thing saying free eye test. I went in, and I'd say about an hour later, I had my first set of glasses done. Eyes tested, done. Then the girl handed me the card, and she said, "Here, read these with the glasses. Read them without." And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe because I didn't think my vision had gone. But then I couldn't believe how sharp it was. I said, "This is fantastic." What?
You're a sucker for a deal.
So no. Well, I needed glasses. I needed glasses.
I know.
So then what they do then is they send what they do. Thanks, thanks, Nigel. So so then 2 years later they send you a text or whatever it was, say come down again and get your eyes tested again. So then I went down again, same thing, boom, eyes tested, blah blah blah, and I got these ones, right? So these are a cheaper frame than the other one because the other one's cost me a small fortune. So went in, got the new glasses, no problem, and then so it must be 4 years ago then because I got another text, right, say to come down. Oh no, actually I started to notice my vision was going again, right? So I think it's anyway. So I went in, got my eyes tested, and now I'm back and forth with them. It's turning into a right palaver, it is. So I'm back and forth. So what happened was, what I need this time is a slight distance prescription, very slight. And then what I need is, obviously, because I work on a computer all day long. So then she said to me, they said, do you want to get varifocals? Well, actually, they more or less talked me into getting varifocals.
I told you
didn't they?
before you went down not to get them.
So I got the varifocals, and they were rubbish. They didn't work at all. So I couldn't. The field of view is too narrow. So basically, if I'm looking at the computer screen, I can see what's sharp in front of me, but either side of the computer screen is basically blurred, right? So it's ridiculous. So these are fine, but I definitely do, because I know she did show me the difference of the prescription between these and the new glasses. So I can definitely see an improvement. So I do definitely need an upgrade. So then I went down, and then I changed the prescription of the varifocal again. No dice. And then did I do it?
Did it a third time? This is the fourth time.
Third time, isn't it? Yeah. So then this time now what I'm going for is something, it's not very focal, but what it is, it's sort of the top half is for computer screen and the bottom half. But it's turning into an absolute nightmare. And I think what she was basically saying was that she was saying that it's my... or he was saying to me that it's my vision. That's what he's saying. He said, my vision is at that point now where it's not quite one thing or the other. But I don't know, but I paid for a really expensive, it was 350 quid all in, I think, right? So test, getting the lenses removed from the glasses and
The
all that kind of
glare
stuff as
thing,
well.
wasn't it,
Yeah,
on it as
but
well?
I'd say at this, I don't know how they're making money, because at this stage now they're on the fourth set of lenses. So I'm going to go down tomorrow, pick them up, and if it doesn't work, so what they're saying is then if they do work, they'll be fine. And then what I'm going to do is get my distance prescription with these. But otherwise what I'm going to have is 3 pairs of glasses, which is ridiculous. I'll have them all hanging out on my neck. Thanks, Jake, for saying it's a great podcast.
So,
what I'd say is, Jake, we'll get there at some stage. Right?
Now, what I'm going to say to you is, if you're going to say thanks to anyone, you need to read out what the comment is, because people on the podcast can't see it. So you need to remember that, okay? So Nigel came on and said, "Hi, Jane V. Love the t-shirt. JJ is wearing a t-shirt that has like a clown or something on it and an American flag over his face."
Well, what I would say to people who are listening on the podcast is watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
and then
Jake Road to Nowhere said great podcast,
great
and
podcast,
he gave us that
the pray hands.
They're
actually a high five. Because
is it?
Yeah. Apparently.
Oh, is it? I thought it was this. I thought it was like Namaste.
No. Apparently, somebody said it's actually a high five. It's not it. So I didn't know.
Optician loving. So David Morrison says, optician loving you paying for his holiday. I would have said that the first time round, because it is a bit of a scam, I think. But I'm probably costing them now at this.
Do you know what, David? There's big windows in that shop.
Well, no, you see, if you think about it, right? So they sent me.
You are not consumers. What's that saying?
I don't know.
You love to buy stuff and to a market dream. Is that what it's called?
Marketer's dream.
Yeah.
Marketeer's dream.
Yeah. You buy into things. I'm a nightmare for
Why do you
people.
say it with such hostility? Why do you say it like there's something wrong with me?
Well, there probably is. But
Why do you say it like that?
But you do. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah, I know we've had this conversation before, but we have never had it on a podcast. So why are you saying it like that?
I'm saying it like that for emphasis.
Salesman dream. Wet dream, I'd say, David. Saleswoman's
You
wet
like
dream.
to consume stuff for some reason. I'm just saying.
How do you? So you see, the thing about it is, right, Fee, right, is that it's people like me who are good for the economy. People like you who won't spend tuppence would have us all out of jobs.
I know, I'm a terrible woman.
You know, I remember, and it was funny. I remember that years ago. It was one of my first. So when I went to college, I'd never done economics or anything like that, right? And we were given a class in economics. And I remember, so this is back in the early 90s, right? So when credit, just before the boom, right? So credit was still, people probably still paid for everything in cash or something like that to a certain level, right? But what happened was, I remember we sat down and he said, this is part of the reason America is so successful as well. What he said was in Ireland, he said, is that everyone saves for everything, or what they do is they buy things in cash. So there's only a certain amount of money going around, right? And that's what happens. So people go out and buy their house in cash. It keeps the prices down, it keeps inflation down, all that kind of stuff. So it's not good for an economy. So he was saying that what they need to start doing was, and he was quite prophetic in saying it, because considering it was just before the Celtic boom, the Celtic Tiger, what he said was that people need to start using credit cards more and take credit out and everything like that. Because what it does is it pumps more money into the system, and then that creates employment and everything like that as well, which means there's more people in work, because remember how high unemployment was and everything like that, and the whole thing. But obviously then the downside is what it can do is it can create a bubble. But my understanding of those bubbles is there's no getting away from them. Those bubbles happen apparently economics goes through a phase every 7 to 8 years, and there's no getting away from bubbles, because what happens is that we're creatures that we forget, you know. So we probably might not get caught in a bubble again because we were so badly hurt by it, but Christian will.
COVID's after
What?
catching us all off guard.
Yeah, but that's a totally different thing though. You know what I mean? So like Christian probably will get caught in a bubble. He'll probably get caught in some kind of bubble, and we'll be saying to him, this is a bubble, this is an economic bubble, and what you need to do basically is calm down and don't be buying into it and stuff like that as well. But hopefully, because you know, what I remember was there was a generation of people out there who cleaned up. You know those people who bought their houses for £14,000 back in the 80s?
My mum and dad did that.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's what I want to be one of those generations.
People that lived in a council house and bought their house for nothing.
But we still haven't. We're not in negative equity, but our house price hasn't recovered from what we bought it from.
And it never will.
No.
Never will.
Well, it probably will, but very slowly. You know, probably. But you see. It's all, if you need to sell.
It's all
house,
relative, though. Yeah, we don't need to
sell.
So.
But then the thing I'd always say to people, because when people say that to me, I say, well, look, the first house I bought, I made a killing on, right? And I wasn't planned to make an economic killing on it or anything like that. But what happened was then I sold it and bought an even more expensive house in Greystones, and then made an absolute total killing on that one, right? And then sold that, and then we bought this house, and then it all went tits up, right? So the whole thing just crashed in. But if I hadn't have been able to buy and flip those, and I wasn't doing it purposefully to buy and flip those houses, right? I did it because of my ex-girlfriend forced me into it. All right.
That's unfair.
But you know what? Do you know what I'd have to say to her? If it wasn't for her, if she hadn't have thrown a wobbler when we bought the house out in Lusk, right? I wouldn't have sold it, and I'd be still living stuck out in Lusk, right? Not that there's anything wrong with Lusk, right? But it's
not where you want to be.
Well, it's definitely not as nice a village as say Racool, or as convenient. It's only good for the airport. But then
and the beach.
And then we bought the house. Then what happened was she wanted to move back to where her folks were. So we bought a house in. We bought our house. Thanks, J Play, AKA.
What? You need to talk. You need to say what.
J Plays 007. Jake, I think it's from the movie.
So
Payday.
Jake has asked where your T-shirt is from.
All right, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, what was I saying? So then what happened was saying she wanted to move back to her folks, and again, so that's what we did. We bought a house in Greystones.
Closer to her folks.
we wanted it. We bought a house and we moved back, and then we split up, and we broke up, and then we cleaned up selling the house because it was just before the crash, and we cleaned up, and then we were able to buy this house. And the reason I broke up with my girlfriend is because of Vanessa. Anyway, so Jake Road to Nowhere, is that T-shirt again? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, to be honest, I bought the T-shirt not knowing that it was what it was. I just liked the look of it, and I thought it was a pretty cool T-shirt. So that's what I got. So listen to you. You could listen. Jake says he could listen to our accents all night. Awesome. Thank you very much. Do you notice a difference between my accent and Vanessa's accent, or do we both sound Irish to you?
Well, we clearly both sound Irish, but do we both sound like we're from the same place? I would say no.
But you know, what's interesting is, and I don't know how long we're going on for. We're probably gone on way too long. When I moved down to Cork, to study down there, everyone sounded like they were from the same place, Cork, right?
Look what Aaron said.
But slowly but surely, I started to notice the difference, and then your ear can really tune into the different accents and stuff like that as well. So I think it's interesting because whenever people talk about someone in America, they do this, generic American accent.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Charlie and me, or also known as Aaron, said, "Oh my God, V is so Dublin." That's because I'm from so Dublin.
Yeah, she's from
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I'm not from Dublin, but everyone assumes I am.
You're from where? Wicklow?
I'm from Wicklow, yeah. So I'm not a Dublin. So that's. Do you want to wrap it up, or what do you want to do? Yeah. How did you think tonight went?
Definitely better
than
last week.
Yeah. But
I'm very tired.
Are you?
I'm really, really very tired.
What I'd like to do is inject a little bit more humor. I think we're kind of a little bit serious, I think. And I think I'm being a bit serious.
You're a very serious individual.
Yeah.
In comparison to me.
Yeah. So.
Aaron, we won't forget 40 questions.
We won't forget.
We definitely will do them. I just haven't seen the questions, so obviously.
They're straightforward enough. And what I would say, Aaron, it was sort of like Aaron was quite open in it. So what I'd recommend anyone to go and watch Aaron's video on his 40 questions that he did. But I just think it was interesting to see you were quite open in it, Aaron. I think you were shown, I'd say you're either shown that you were more comfortable in doing it, or it was the purpose of the 40 questions or something like that as well. So it's quite interesting, quite brave,
Hope we don't do them a disservice, though.
Some of the stuff. Well, yeah. Well, I think. See, the thing is, what I'll do. Aaron answered one, right? So Aaron answered one of the questions. What was like? What's the most painful? And I'm going to answer the question how I would answer it now, right? So Aaron was asked what was one of the most painful experiences, blah blah blah, or the most painful thing, and Aaron said, a broken heart, right? And Aaron's heart had been broken at some stage, and I went, oh yeah.
You were taking a stub in your toe, like.
I was, but I went, yeah, because
You're so deep.
because the thing is, I've had my heart broken once as well, Aaron, and it is very, very painful.
Son,
Very painful.
if anyone ever breaks your heart, send them to me.
But what? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll wrap it up. I'll tell you what the most painful thing for me was. That I got out of the bath, and I was having a bath at home in my mother's house, and I got out of the bath, so I was all soft and pink and very relaxed and very happy, and a very kind of happy, just got out of a lovely warm bubbly bath. And what happened was, whatever way I was standing next to the bathroom door, right, so that they had they had this kind of like timber on the floor, and I pulled the door open on top of my toe, my big toe, right? So it caught my toe, pulled my toe back, but then wedged basically my toe, so my toe was pinned underneath the door, and I was basically screaming in agony. But the worst thing was, I had to push the door back on my toe, right? So I was standing there trying not to pass out with the pain, and then I basically pushed the door back up. I pushed it back up my toe, and it was so painful. It was just unbelievable. But yeah, what's that? David Morrison says.
David Morrison says, just as well you got a broken heart as then you would not be punching above your weight now. That's very true, David.
I thought he meant that for Aaron.
No.
What does that? Oh, you guys have mics.
The Trump's my pain. Yeah, he's my pain too. I have to admit, I actually don't think I could handle 4 more years of waking up every morning, and it was looking at the news, and it's what Trump said. I've actually been avoiding.
Well, no. Oh yeah, okay. I suppose I didn't. Just Trump's my pain, but yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. But do you know, we'll probably save it for another day. But I think the thing, what I would say, David, is that I'd had a lot of girlfriends over the years, right? I'm not bragging. I just wanted to say that. That's all.
Yeah.
No, so I had, but the thing about it is, the minute I met Vanessa, and I was glad I wasn't married when I met you.
I was glad you weren't as well.
No, I'm glad I wasn't, because I think I could have married some of my ex-girlfriends, possibly, right? I'm not saying I would have, but I could have, and I think that I probably would have been divorced and left one of them, because the minute I met you, I knew that you were the woman I wanted
wouldn't
to
have
marry.
married a divorcee.
Would you know?
No.
Why?
Well, that's just.
Why weren't you married?
That's that. You're gonna blow the mic. I was just being super nice there, and then I'm gonna sulk now for the rest of the evening.
Just cut it out.
It's live.
You can cut it out of the podcast.
Everyone's laughing in the chat.
Thanks, Nigel.
I'm sorry. Of course I was going to say something like that.
That is shocking.
I know. No, of course I didn't marry.
Aaron, this is the most painful moment right now. My heart is broken. Right, I'm out of here.
Of course I didn't marry you. Sure, I was on my way down the aisle as well.
Yeah.
God, there's been 104 playbacks.
You know?
Very good. Yeah.
I
Anyway.
only mess with Baba.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, okay. Well, look. I think the thing is, we've gone on way longer than we meant to. So, we'll Lars Eric. I don't know how to pronounce that, but he's laughing his head off anyway. So very good. So yeah. So we'll see you guys. We'll see you next week, and we'll get the hang of it. It's Lars Eric.
And just in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Okay, I'm gonna go then. Right. So, do you want to say goodbye? Bye.
Night.
Have to hit
Ihua.
end stream
Slam.
from Norway.
Slán.
Bye.